Alright, hello guys, and here we are again with the double trouble banner. As I said I was gonna do. Overall, here it is with Rivals in Sync, Epsilon and Beta, and Imperfect Swordplay, Alexia. So overall, this Epsilon and Beta unit, I won't spend too much time on them since they return a ton, and you probably already have them, but if you don't, well, they're like top 2 or so in the game, like second strongest below Shadow and Aura. Pretty easily worth summoning for. Skills are pretty good. Their awakenings are decent. Overall, 100% worth summoning for if you don't have them. Right? If it's right, even though the anniversary is pretty close, I say you should still probably like, do some multis. Just for a chance. Or if you want, you can do 100 and get either Epsilon and Beta or Alexia for free. Well, well, not for free, but yeah, get one of them guaranteed in 10 multis. Right, yeah, the exchange. So yeah, easily worth selling for Epsilon and Beta. Won't spend too much time on them. Cracked as usual. So now over here, where we'll really spend the majority of time since this one hasn't been back in practical like forever. Well, but yeah, this Alexia is still like the best blue tank in the game right now. Even and shares her skills, going beyond, raises defense, inflicts damage, and recovers HP. And a fun fact is that this unit is the only one that scales based off their defense instead of their attack. Most units just scale off of their own attack, but instead this one just does it with their defense, which is honestly pretty cool, really. Like if you look over here at the newest shadow, as you can see, he recovers his own HP by 100% of attack. Same thing for his special ability. Meanwhile, if you came over to this Alexia, she does things based off her own defense, which is honestly pretty unique, really. One of a kind, only unit, and it's still pretty good to say. So yeah, and then still no, still one noble mind. So yeah, she raises her own defense, as I said, and grants for ongoing HP recovery, which is honestly pretty good. This means that over time she continues to heal herself. It's pretty OP, means that you won't really need, for some content, you won't need a healer. Since he will just suffice, as she can heal herself and heal her own allies, while giving herself a lot of defense and inflicts provoke. As that's provoke, says can only attack the enemy who provoked them. It practically works like a taunt, really. Now, Glistening Blade. This skill is pretty cracked. Inflicts 20 damage on all enemies, and lowers defense, and it raises damage received by 10%, and further reduces defense and raises damage received if they're red elemental. So so pretty cracked versus red elements especially. Yeah, for special, which is pretty restricted to blue units. So yeah, this won't work if you're running her outside of blue elemental teams. Otherwise, if you do run it with blues, you get 15% damage reduction for all eyes run with 4 or more, and if you run with 5 blue element damage, you get shield damage. And of course, when you awaken, you get more stats and stuff. Like just imagine having 400% shields. That's okay crazy. And when you use a strike combo, this shoots damage of all allies. So yeah, while giving damage reduction. So overall, pretty OP tank. And then we have our magic gear, school activity permit. She raises her own defense until HP until one enemy dies, until one ally dies. So yeah, you you having like 4. Yeah, you need to have 5 allies for this gear. So the first part of the gear to work. Otherwise, you just grant ongoing HP recovery of all allies by her own defense, which ties into what I was saying earlier, in which you don't really need a tank. But no, not a tank. You don't really need a healer, which is Alexia, based on how difficult the enemy is. Like if the enemy doesn't hit that hard, you can just run like 4 DPS on this tank Alexia, and you should be good unless the boss has some restriction against doing that. But they don't, you should be pretty good to just run. If they don't have a restriction and they hit pretty hard, you should be able to just run this Alexia with like 4 more DPS and deal some good damage. I have her skill 1, it's pretty good. This is just cool as well. A3 is also cool, and then like A4 and A5 is pretty good as well. So overall, she still holds up to being like the best blue tank in the game. And she's like what she I don't know. She's more than 1 year old, but is she 2 years old at this point? I can't really remember. I'll probably have to do some more digging as to when she originally released it. But yeah, she should be close to 2 years old sooner or later. So yeah, overall, she's still worth summoning for. Pretty good cat, and especially works like the blue team, permanent blue team, and with other Alexias and with human builds as well. So overall, she's just a perfect tank and very flexible, even off blue element. So overall, just like with this Epsilon Beta and this Shadow, definitely worth something for, but you wouldn't want to go too deep because of how close the anniversary is, of course. So yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoy and see ya later.